Hello Ratbags, it's Joe Plays Games. Welcome to a special Fallout 76 video. Today I'm going to be talking you through and showing you exactly what I got up to when I played Fallout 76. We've seen the live stream, you might have caught me playing it. I did 4-hour stretch and we got loads of good footage. We tried getting hold of a nuclear power plant before coming up alongside this, the Grafton monster. It was the first time I'd seen it, it was a great thing. What I'm going to also be showing you is one of the locations. I really want to explore the map. Forget all the controversy over the beta, any backlash. End of the day, the game is still pretty fun to play with friends, and I do want to show you some real cool elements of it which I find the most enjoyable. I love open world survival games. I love them for the exploration. I love having adventures. I've never been a big grinder, getting materials just for the sake of it, and I'm not someone that goes around just building bases. I like going off on adventures. That often results in me getting my arse handed to me because I often go into places I shouldn't be because I'm too underpowered, or I just simply get wrecked by all the creatures. But we come across this, the Grafton monster. It's pretty formidable. Obviously, if you've got a higher perch point, it's not going to be able to touch you. After this, though, I'm going to show you guys exactly what the Ash Heap is all about. We're going to take a journey up to the tall, big mountains. You can see it there just in front of me on the left. That is the Ash Heap. It's a big, huge area. It's got lots of resources in it and lots of high-level enemies. I'm going to show you some of them enemies. But I thought it would be interesting just to go over the footage while I talk about my experiences with Fallout 76. In terms of this location, I'm going to be doing this with all the locations. We're going to go through adventures. I'm going to show you the 6 distinct regions and give you my first opinions and thoughts walking around. The Grafton monster was pretty easy actually. Now I'm guessing there's going to be some high level ones. We were all quite low level 5, and this one's only level 10. But it didn't take too many shots, and none of us had any OP sort of guns. We all had very basic guns. I think I found this sort of rifle shotgun semi thing, and none of us had anything decent. None of us had any armor. I've got power armor on, but no power really in it. It's literally just walking around. It's just the frame. I haven't got even the helmet and some of the other pieces on correctly. Well, at least I feel I didn't, but now I'm looking at it again. You can see all the dials, so it's pretty cool. You get to see they've got the armor, and you can see what you've got inside it. A few things, the muffled shadowed leather left leg, the muffled shadow, so I'm guessing that's some sort of modded armour. You can mod all your armour pieces of course and all your weapons, but that's where I think that comes into it. It's going to probably make your sneaking ability a bit quicker. You won't be able to hear someone coming along. There is a huge climb up to this Ash Heap. It took forever to get up there, it really did. At this point I did run out of power though, and I had to leave my power armour behind. Well, in fact I think I collected it all in the end. Power armour is pretty cool. It is pretty cool running around. It is the Fallout experience you're used to in terms of the power armour running around. Just got to get yourself lots of power cores and make sure you've got a full kit. That's where we were. We tried getting the plant up and running. It took an hour. It was an event. You basically get that plant up and running, and I think once you get it done, that's a real good chance for being on your way to, you know, securing elements you might need to activate nuclear missiles eventually. Don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. But the event was quite hard. The waypoints and the markers in it were quite challenging, trying to work out exactly where things were. You have to restore lots of pipes and power points in it, and I probably will do a proper guide on it when I revisit and we actually complete it. We nearly got there. We got down to the 3rd one. There's 3 sort of parts of that power plant, and you have to do it all. Outside the power plant there is a yard or a workshop which you can claim. Now the workshops do have lots of resources. One that this one definitely has a lot of is lead, and you can see the workshops actually list how many resources it's currently got inside it. So if you really want to take a look at the map, hover over these workshops to see if anyone's visited one in a while. If they haven't, you know you can go and get some decent loot out of it, and it'll just stop you from maybe revisiting one that's just been raided by someone else. The workshops are meant to be that you can defend them, you can place battlements, you can put, you know, fences up, and we play around a little bit with that here. As you can see, just building some basic ones, trying to kind of make us some sort of provisional wall, and we did have to defend ourselves against lots of the little robots that were coming around. But there was no players coming to attack us or anything like that. It's quite a big space, this one. That's the deposits, them little ground deposits, that's where you're going to get your ores from. Our lead is definitely useful because you need lots of lead for your weapons and ammo. And we did find a few junk spots as well, and they respawned after a while. After mucking around within this area for about 20 minutes, they ended up respawning, and you'll see these little junk spots which just give you lots of different things like steel, metal, etc. And just up the hill is the next workshop, which I visited before when I've played the game. It's got the it's like another workshop where you can basically get resources. When I first visited it, it only had some zombies, but this time it had some of the new creatures that look a bit like weird Ewoks. They look like hermit Ewoks. You can see one here. They look pretty harmless. You come up on them and oh my gosh, they can do some damage. They're called mole miners, and when they start shooting at you, they were OP as heck. We got wrecked, absolutely slaughtered by these guys. They look really, really freaky. So we did eventually clear it out. It took a good few shots, and then you can have this as your workshop. And again, same thing, you can place all your blueprinted buildings. You've got any preset ones you've already built, you can place them in and around, and it does have some workstations that you can build stuff. But above it is pretty much Ash Heap. That's where I wanted to explore. I wanted to get around the map and see how far we could get. We only had about maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes left of the beta left, and this is what we did. We went up to Ash Heap. It's really dark. It is really dark. If you've got any type of nightwear, it'd be really good to have it on here if you can see in the dark. Obviously I totally forgot to use my light at this point. If you're in your power armor as well, you've got to make sure you've got your light source. One thing that is annoyed me a little bit is you can't change the color. In previous Fallout games you could change the color of your light, but it's stuck at just that horrible green, and there's not too much going on here. In fact, this whole journey going up here is pretty very dark and just walking up to see what's on top of it. But once you get to the top, oh my god, it's massive. There's quite a few settlements, and I love this sense of exploration that you get. And this reminded me a little bit of Skyrim, and this is what I love about games like this. Going into the unknown. Are you going to be correctly prepared? Have you got the right stuff? Frequently I haven't got the right stuff, but that doesn't stop me from going on. I quickly went through my foods and sources to see what I needed because I was pretty low. You are going to need a ton of food and water in this game. Believe it or not, although survival doesn't supposedly kill you, it really limits what you can do if you haven't got a good decent food bar and water bar filled up to the top. You can see the ash is piling in there, and all of a sudden we're in thick smog, thick fog, whatever you want to call it. There's just ash everywhere. We come up across a few little landmarks, a few little stations. You can see the view from down there. There's absolutely nothing you can see. It's completely pitch black. So we carried on our journey upwards, and there really wasn't that many deposits. I was expecting there to be many more sort of little pockets of iron or lead and stuff like that, but not really. Plenty of logs though, so if you want wood you can get a fair amount up here. We did notice that some places you couldn't put your camps down because you have to place them on soil, or it has to be on a certain type of surface. Now I'm not too sure how that worked because I got up a little bit higher and I put some, and we're starting to see the lava and the real fire sort of emblems from it. They don't touch you. The only ones that you got to worry about if they're actually on fire. We also come up across some fireflies. Now considering these are like level 1 and they're meant to be like some tiny little creature, oh my gosh, I shot them 3 or 4 times. Honestly, my aim isn't that bad, I promise you. And they just didn't seem to die that easily. They seem pretty hard to kill, pretty OP in fact. They do drop a bioluminescence liquid, so I'm guessing that's going to be pretty useful for some sort of advanced crafting. Didn't really get that far with some of the weapons and items of what you're going to be doing. But if you're looking for bioluminescent stuff, this is where you come to get some of it, or you can get some of it from here. We had these great big massive pickup trucks obviously carrying all the mining materials, and there was just not a lot going on inside them. So yeah, fireflies, bioluminescence liquid, good place to come and get it. Not so many resources as I thought. Once you get to the top of here, you're going to see it's pretty epic what you do see. Of course, I forget how big and long it takes. You can start to see a few encampments now, and there are some definitely sort of settlement areas you're going to need to clear out. There are more of them mining creatures. They definitely come after you, so you've got to be careful. And in the end, I had to backtrack because I came across some of them and I was simply just way too underpowered. They were like level 15. So you have to be aware of what level you are exploring some of these places, and you really have got to make sure you've got a decent armor, decent weapons. You can see I'm getting shot by them. They move really quickly, the mole miners. Considering they're pretty small, they look pretty cute and harmless. Well, maybe not cute, but harmless. Oh my gosh, they can come at you in a rapid speed. So I quickly ran away. I didn't get to explore that part, but I did come back around the mountain as she comes, and we explore the top and the peak. It is a real climb, but when you get up here, look at the size of it. We've seen this in the trailer quite a bit. This great big massive digging machine. Look at all the lava and the fire. It's a real epic location. There were some reavers up there, there was some different types of creatures that were killing me, and this is where I got to get to grips with the photo mode. You can do all sorts of filters and stuff like that, and I made some pretty cool shots, as you can see, filtering through them all. I really like this idea. I think there's going to be some amazing stuff, and of course all your screenshots that you take, your snapshots, become loading screenshots. So whenever you're loading up a base or a game, you will see whatever photos you've taken while you're doing it. So pretty cool stuff, but let's carry on exploring. I do go and climb this great big machine, although I don't explore the innards of it because again I was just way under leveled. So very dark around here still. Don't forget as well that lava, it's okay as long as there's no flames, and you can see I think there's like ghoul stalkers, yeah, that was it. Moving around a little bit derpy. The AI for the creatures isn't the best. It is typical what you've come to expect from a Bethesda game. I don't think any game really gets AI that right, so I'm not going to blare it out. I think pretty much every game has problems with it. There are a few little vehicles with maybe some crates around for you to go and get some resources, and here you get bit more of a close-up of the lava. I pretty much ran away because I didn't want to get killed by that big thing, but the size and scale of this machine, and you can climb it, you can just climb it from the bottom. I do find a way up. As you can see here, we're about to like get on top of it once I get across. It's a pretty dark and scary spot. It really feels like a raid or dungeon area where you're going to come just to get a certain resource or complete a certain mission. I can't imagine anyone building their bases here. It's quite a high level zone. Maybe you would, maybe it'd be pretty hard for other players to come near you, or you just want to be a bit out of the way, but it's not the best looking of places. It is actually daylight now, I do believe as well. I swear it wasn't night time. It'd gone through the cycle of night by the time we got up to the top, or maybe it was like just approaching dawn, so it should be some daylight. There are obviously workbenches and stuff what you will find. You'll see plenty of workbenches in the world, so don't worry too much about crafting all the workbenches straight away, particularly at the start of the game. You'll find loads of benches if you go and look in some of the buildings. But yeah, the loot, I was expecting more loot. I was expecting to come up here and find lots of resources, and I guess I didn't explore the whole area. Like I said, it's quite misleading. It's much larger than you think it's going to be, and you can see Big Worm 380, good pal down there, trying to look around. And I'm going to go and get on top of the actual machinery now and pretty much just run round because I was pretty scared. But yeah, there just wasn't a lot going on. Pretty good idea to scrap all your items periodically. Definitely do that, because otherwise you're going to be just bogged down with so many items. And where you get a chance, always bulk pack your items. You can condense all your items into one thing. Now, someone said that you do need some components, and it might be true. There might be some things you need like cogs, but I didn't really come across that. Everything that I saw that needed to be crafted was made out of usual things like metal, rubber, wood, plastic, glass. There was no need to keep specific junk items. I think they're really trying to do away with that. That's the whole point Bethesda have made with this new scrap system, is you don't need individual parts of whatever you pick up. You just need their components, you know, what they're made out of. That's what you really need. And don't forget, if you've got abundance of weapons, make sure you dismantle some of them so you learn how some of their abilities give you, and it might give you the option to add more modifications for whatever gun you've got. So here we go. Enough waffle caking, enough looking at it. Let's climb up board and see what's going on. It's freaking huge. You know what, I would have loved even more if this actually moved. I mean, maybe it does. Maybe it's an event. Maybe there's a challenge. I just doubt it very much so. It looked like, looking around at the ground, it'd be very hard to see this actually moving around or doing anything. But yeah, I've not come across any bobbleheads. If you find a bobblehead, it gives you temporary boosts or buffs. So if you do come across any of them Mr. Bobbleheads, make sure you keep them. There you go, got a Scorched Wanderer. It was only level 6, I think, the Scorched Wanderer, but it was definitely more. You got the Believers, that was right. That was the other ones that I come across. So yeah, I didn't actually record my footage. I've had to re-record this from YouTube to give you some more extra footage from it, because I didn't press the record button. I was so excited about it. I think that's why I was left wanting more. I wanted to explore the whole map. I don't know, that's stupid. You shouldn't be able to explore the whole map in one sitting. But 4 hours into the game, I wanted to definitely explore some cool things. You can see in the distance they've got these great big massive towers. They look a bit like War of the World style alien creatures, you know, tripods. Definitely this place I want to explore a little bit more in detail when I am souped up and I've got the right type of armour and weapons. More of the mole miners, obviously quite high level. You can see I'm shooting there. I barely touched it or scratched it with one shot. So not to be messed with unless you really have got a decent weapon or you're quite high level armoured sort of character. And there you go. It's the end of my journey to the top of the Ash Heap for now. We're going to revisit it, but obviously I wanted to show you guys what I'd seen. I do go all the way up north as well, and I'm going to be doing that in a separate video, although I didn't last too long there, as that was very quick. As you would imagine, running around to these areas when you're under leveled, you're going to die a lot. So there is a reason you've got to level up, and you maybe can't just necessarily go to another side of the map and do something. But that's what I enjoy. I love coming across stuff for the first time, and I love coming across enemies and deciding whether or not I can take them on. Let me know what you've enjoyed the most from the playing the beta yourself, or gameplay you've seen. What area do you want to explore? What region do you want to set your base up? Is it going to be Ash Heap, or is it going to be somewhere a bit more hospitable? Let me know in the comment section down below. I am Jade Plays Games. This has been a very first look at Ash Heap, and I'll definitely show you guys more, all the locations you see in the future. Don't forget to like this video, hit me up, make sure you've got notifications on to get every single news update, and I'll see you rat bags for another Fallout 76 video very soon.